You audition. What was the audition like? Did you turn letters?
That's what I did. And when I got the job, I asked Merv, why did you choose me? He said, because you turn the letters better than anyone else.
The relationship between you and Pat.
We are great friends. We've never had one argument, and we adore each other.
How does it feel to be part of American culture? You don't need to have to use your second name.
My mother said to me, one day you're going to be known just by your first name.
Plus, have you goofed? Have you turned the wrong turn?
One time. It was devastating.
All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. She brightens up every room she enters. Vanna White, the legendary long-standing co-host of Wheel of Fortune, alongside Pat Sajak, Vanna will usher in the 34th season of the show starting September 12th. When you started, you said, I know you said this is going to 30, 40 years.
Never.
How did that start?
Well, I auditioned for the show along with 200 other girls, and Merv Griffin made the final decision. God bless you, Merv.
That was his show, right?
Yes, it was.
And they told you what it would entail?
It entailed, basically, I just had to turn letters.
All right, so when you auditioned, what was the audition like? Did you turn letters?
That's what I did. And when I got the job, I asked Merv, why did you choose me? He said, because you turn the letters better than anyone else.
Now, you do have a flair.
Well, thank you.
That was a daytime show.
It was. The nighttime version had not started yet. That was in 1982, and the syndicated version started in September of '83.
I'll have a story. I've never told this story before. In September of 1983, I was doing my national radio show and local television. Channel 9 came to me and said, we want to do a strip show with you every night, Larry, at 7:30. And you'll be the host and interview people every night, because I'd gotten well known as an interviewer in Miami. The only thing we have is we have to run this daytime quiz show, Wheel of Fortune, because we have a deal with King World. We got to run them for 6 weeks. It ain't going to work at night. It ain't going to work. So in 6 weeks, we'll come back to you and give you a contract. It ain't going to work. That's my Wheel of Fortune
Oh,
story.
my gosh.
Why did it work at night?
Who knows? People
Why do you
ask me
think?
that. I have no idea. The timing, I guess, it's a half hour of family fun. People are either eating dinner, have just finished dinner. It's time to be together and solve puzzles, and it just worked.
Good prizes, too.
Well, now we have $1 million wedge on that wheel, and we've given it away a few times, too.
Another thing that you do better than Jeopardy, even though both were Merv Griffin shows. At Jeopardy, the two losers get $2,000 or $1,000. On your show, you get what you make.
No, you get $1,000. If you
Really?
win, if you don't win anything, you get $1,000.
Oh, I thought they get what they...
But isn't that a good thing?
Yeah, okay, but I thought you gave them all the money.
No.
Is that you visit cities? When did that start?
Many, many years ago. Even when I first started, we were doing cities. And we have probably been to every city in the United States.
All right, tell me how Vanna White deals with the constant of constants. I mean, that's no other way to explain it. You do the same thing.
I do.
How do you keep your lovely smile, your flow, and really, how does it work for you? Because you're as popular as Pat.
Oh, thank you. It's quite easy because I always have a different dress on, right? The puzzles are always different. So you never know with each show. And the jokes that Pat tells, he keeps me laughing. So it's always a new day, different contestants. And we don't do it every day. We only tape
Tell me how you work.
We tape on the average of 4 days a month. 6 shows a day. And that's pretty much it, other than the traveling, of course.
So you get a month's worth of shows in a week?
In 4 days.
4 days?
Yes.
So you're there, you change your dress?
Yes.
You're there all day, laying them out. And
it's just like a live show. When we first start, it's a 30-minute show.
No editing?
No editing. We just go through it. And, you know, commercials are dark, so we just take 2 minutes, and then we come back up like nothing had happened.
You ever get bored?
No.
Do you root for the contestants?
I do. My favorite show is when all three win something, because they're up there. There's thousands.
Because you can win something if you lose. You can win a trip, right?
You can, yes. You can win, but I know they're so nervous when they get up there. You know, there's 300 people in the audience. There's millions of people at home watching. They just don't want to mess up. You know what I mean? They don't want to embarrass themselves. So I love it when they all win something because they feel accomplished.
Do you still do most in L.A.?
Yes.
All right, now the relationship between you and Pat.
Yes.
Anything to tell?
No. Really? No. In 34 years, we are great friends. We've never had one argument, and we adore each other.
What city brings the wildest guests?
That's hard to say.
Is there a city that...
No, there's not. There's not. I mean, the only reason Vegas came to mind, just because we all know Vegas and gambling and drinking and all that stuff, but that's not true. There's no particular city.
I see. I watch the show a lot. I get a kick out of it. You seem to like Hawaii.
Oh, I wish we could film in Hawaii all the time. That's my favorite place to go. One of my favorites. I have to say, since we travel around the country, I'm able to do a lot of things that other people aren't able to do. For example, when we were filming in Seattle, I was on top of the Space Needle, where no one can go. There literally, it was about the size of this table, and there's a little hatch you go up and ladder that you climb, and I'm standing on this, on top of the...
To do a promo?
To do a promo as the helicopter's going around. Wow. You know, from Seattle, it's Wheel of Fortune. You can't just go on top of that. I was on top of the Empire State Building. I was on a glacier in the middle of Alaska, waiting for the polar bear to come as the helicopter's watching up above.
How many years is the show committed to? Like, how long is your contract?
I have 2 more years on my current contract. I'm happy.
This has not been a bad deal, right?
No, I remember when I first started, I was sitting in the makeup chair next to Pat, and I said, I wonder where we'll be in 10 years. And it's been 34. He just kind of laughed, like, this isn't going to last.
I knew him very well. How did you get along with and feel about Merv?
I loved Merv. He was always nice to me. He was funny, entertaining, just a great, great man.
And smart. Boy, he knew television.
Extremely smart.
Coming up, Vanna and those infamous Wheel of Fortune dresses, and a recent conversation with rapper Nelly. Don't click away. It's in its 34th season. I predict Wheel of Fortune will be a hit. Our guest is Vanna White. She co-hosts with Pat Sajak. Are game shows still alive and well in America? We have a game show network.
Yes, we do, and they have lots of old shows of ours. There's some game shows out there. Wheel of Fortune, I don't think is the longest running. I think Price is Right might be longer, but don't quote me on that.
Might be, yeah. It might be.
It might be a little bit.
Do you watch game shows?
Sometimes. I love game shows. I love games. I love playing games.
What's the biggest adaptation that Wheel of Fortune has made over the years? Well, more money,
yes.
nighttime travel.
Yes. The basic game has remained the same, just solving the puzzles. But in 1997, they changed my puzzle board. I used to turn the letters, and in 1997, I now touch them. They computerized it because it saved many hours of production. So, because after every round, they would have to stop, change the letters manually, so they computerized it, so now all I have to do is touch it.
So they made it easier for you.
Can you believe my job could get any easier?
All right, you know the puzzle. Actually, you have to know it, right? Because you know where you're going to turn. Have you goofed? Have you turned the wrong turn?
One time. It was devastating.
Tell me.
The puzzle was either Dr. Spock or Mr. Spock. I can't remember because I was so traumatized. And I turned either the D or the M, and it was wrong. And it's like, wait, that's not a D? What did I do? So they stopped, they threw the puzzle out, and put in another puzzle. So it wasn't that bad.
You didn't think you'd be fired?
No.
What was your favorite show growing up?
Bewitched was my favorite show. I loved that. I loved Gilligan's Island. I loved Concentration.
Oh, I like Concentration.
Remember that? When I was 12 years old, I went to New York, and I went to the set of Concentration. I'll never forget that.
Hugh Downs.
Yes.
And Bob, the announcer, was nice guy, Bob. He was out of Miami. As part of Wheel of Fortune, you say you've worn 6,000 dresses, and never the same. Are they given to you?
They are not. They are borrowed. What happens is the designers send the clothes to the studio. I wear them. They send about 40, 50 dresses, and we do 12 shows in 2 days, so I pick the top 12 that look the best.
Does the designer get credit?
Yes. At the end of the show, the designer gets credit. And then they all go back. And most of them are samples.
What's your process for picking a dress? What does it have to do?
It has to fit. It has to look good. Some dresses that look good I can't necessarily wear. Maybe they're off the shoulder and I have to be able to raise my hand to turn the top letters. So it just kind of depends.
How does it feel to be part of American culture?
It feels
you are, in
good.
fact, you don't need to have to use your second name.
That's true. And, you know, when I was growing up and I went away to college, I said to my mother, or my mother said to me, one day you're going to be known just by your first name.
She did?
She did.
You grew up where?
In North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
There's a North Myrtle Beach?
There is.
Is there a South Myrtle Beach?
No.
Is there a West Myrtle Beach?
No.
No East Myrtle Beach, right?
No.
So why do they call it North?
Because it's north of Myrtle Beach. I don't know.
You get recognized everywhere now, right?
I do.
It's hard not to be. Oh, we got to ask you about a recent conversation with rapper Nelly. You spoke with him about using your name in his hit 2000 song, Ride With Me. The lyric of the song says, "Can I make it damn right? I be on the next flight, paying cash, first class, sitting next to Vanna White." Okay, what'd you talk to him about?
I was at an Easter party, and he was there, and I went up to him, and I said, "Did we sit next to each other on an airplane once?" He said, "No, we did not, but it just rhymed, so I used your name."
That must have been a hoot for you.
I loved it. My kids really loved it.
Did you ever think maybe one day reverse with Pat? Heel turn. Why don't you do that once? Have some laughs.
I have to tell you, we did it once on the bonus puzzle because Pat had laryngitis and he had lost his voice. So we did it. And he was terrible turning the letters.
Do you do the show in Vegas just for the Vegas crowds?
No.
No, you never do. Some game shows have done that, where is there a Wheel of Fortune in a box set that people can buy at home?
I don't think there is anymore. No.
Are you on one of the
Apps?
No, apps. Are you also on one of the machines in Vegas, slot machine?
Yes, I am. The Wheel of Fortune slot machine.
Do you get paid for that?
I do not. I know. Can you believe it? That's a very good question. I don't know. I need to talk to my attorney.
Are we getting more female game show hosts?
Seems that way, doesn't it?
Good idea.
I think it is a good idea.
After the break, a game of If You Only Knew, including Vanna's funniest fan encounters. Stay tuned. I don't have to tell you who she is. It's in its 34th year. How'd you get the name Vanna?
My grandmother's next-door neighbor was named Vanna, so my mother named me that. Vanna Worrell was her name, W-O-R-R-E-L-L.
Do you know anybody named Vanna?
Yes, I went to school with a girl named Vanna Knight. Can you imagine? And she was a troublemaker. I would hear Vanna Knight come to the office. It's like, did they say Vanna Knight or Vanna White?
Whatever happened to her?
I don't know.
Have you run into people who've named their kids Vanna?
I have. I've also run into people who have named their llamas Vanna.
You've done some acting outside of Wheel of Fortune. Want to do more?
Not really. Not really. I used to, but not anymore.
Do you ever think about after Wheel of Fortune? You're not an old woman, you're a young woman. You ever think about after?
I
Can't
do.
go forever, we say.
That is true, isn't it? I don't know what I will do after Wheel of Fortune. I just don't know. It's been my life.
You get involved in philanthropic causes. Do you have a favorite charity?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have my own line of yarn, and I donate half of my proceeds to St. Jude.
In Memphis?
In Memphis, yes.
You have your own line of yarn?
I do. I'm an avid crocheter.
And the yarn is bought, you can buy it in stores?
In retail stores, yes.
It's called Vanna White yarn?
It's called Vanna's Choice. Had it for many years.
Is there a big difference in yarn?
Yes.
There's good yarn and bad yarn?
Yes.
You have
all
a good
kinds.
line.
I think I do. I have lots of colors and lots of...
And you give half the proceeds to St. Jude.
I do.
Great cause.
Thank you.
We have a little game of You Only Knew. I'll just throw some questions at you.
Okay.
What's the best piece of advice you ever got?
Be honest.
Funniest fan encounter?
Someone came up to me and asked me to sign a yardstick.
A yardstick?
Yes, that's what I said.
Proudest accomplishment?
Getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Funniest Wheel of Fortune moment?
Oh, goodness.
There had to be many.
Oh, there was. There was a recent one where it was a Christmas show and a Christmas gift got caught on my dress, and I'm carrying it back and forth. And I didn't even know I was carrying it attached to my dress.
And they left it in?
They did.
Biggest splurge?
Eating ice cream.
Favorite behind-the-scenes Wheel of Fortune moment?
Wow. Behind the scenes, that's a tough one. We have some good times when we're during the commercials. Pat might say something funny. I can't think of anything in particular.
But you and Pat are close friends too, aren't you?
We are.
Something on your bucket list?
I want to travel all over the world. I want to go everywhere, see everything.
Funniest incorrect Wheel of Fortune puzzle answer?
One was, more fun than a barrel of monkeys. Someone said more fun than a barrel of Vikings.
Viking?
Yes.
Craziest Wheel of Fortune guest?
One show, this girl won, and she literally picked Pat up and carried him around, jumping up and down. But I have to tell you a favorite moment. On one of my favorite shows was a guy had just won a brand new car, and he said, "I don't have to take the bus anymore." That was special.
Oh, that's That's really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes you want to cry, doesn't it?
Well,
It makes you feel good when they win, right?
Yeah, it makes
It's
us.
not your money.
That's true, and that you feel like you really do change people's lives, and you do on our show.
Yeah, sure. Lunch with one person from history.
Oh, goodness.
Where would you take them?
Oh, probably not someplace fancy. I'm a more casual kind of a person. Wow, that's an interesting. There's so many anywhere from Benjamin Franklin to Einstein. Einstein would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Favorite game show other than yours?
Probably Jeopardy.
You know, you're not going to consider a rival of Jeopardy. It's such
No.
a different show.
No.
You could trade places with someone for one day. Who would it be?
Oh, that's another tough question. You know, if I wasn't going into show business when I was younger, I wanted to be a doctor or a nurse to help people. And I think it would be fun to change places with a doctor, just doing some kind of a surgery.
Put on that coat.
It would be fun.
Rest, you'll be okay.
Really?
Secret talent.
Oh, goodness. Do I have a secret talent? I don't think I have one.
Knitting.
Oh, okay.
It's not
For
secret,
sure.
but yeah. Something we should all be paying more attention to.
The environment?
And Vanna White in 10 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Back on this show for the 44th year of Wheel of Fortune.
Can you imagine?
Would you take that?
I probably would. I love my job. I love the show.
Vanna will take your fan questions in our final moments. Stay with us. The legendary co-host of Wheel of Fortune, she's right aside Pat Sajak, and they've been doing it now in their 34th year this year, starting September 12th, the new season. We have some social media questions. Alex Flores on Facebook. What was your reaction to hearing the song that Weird Al Yankovic did about you?
I was impressed that I was mentioned in the song. Loved it.
How did you hear it first?
Probably on the radio, I think was the first time.
Did it surprise you?
Yeah, it's like, that's cool.
Aaron Ringo Chow on Facebook. You are gorgeous. How do you stay looking so young?
Lots of exercise. I get plenty of sleep, and I wear sunblock.
Sunblock. Mm-hmm. Do you have any makeup secrets?
No.
Why isn't there a Vanna White line of makeup?
Truthfully, I wear makeup when I work. I'm a very natural kind of a girl. I guess because my job is getting all dressed up, the last thing I want to do when I'm not working is wearing makeup.
Keith Holder on Facebook. Have you ever actually played Wheel of Fortune?
Yes. Yes. We played a version one time on the show for charity, and Alex Trebek hosted it, and Pat and I played against each other, and he won.
Did you ever think of a celebrity Wheel of Fortune?
We do have celebrity Wheel of Fortunes occasionally, and they play for charity.
Ann Dawson on the Larry King Now blog. Do you have any tips for someone who wants to get on the show?
Just go to wheeloffortune.com, how to be a contestant. And
what does it ask you to do?
I think it asks you to send in a 60-second or less video of why you want to be a contestant.
What do you want in a contestant? Someone, obviously, you don't want someone low-key.
No, I think they just want someone that speaks clearly and enjoys the game, and they have to play. They have to take a written test.
Really?
Fill in the blanks, just so they know that they can play the game.
At I Am All That Is Go on Twitter, after all these years on show business, how do you remain in show business? How do you remain so grounded and humble?
I think it's my upbringing. Growing up in a small town of 5,000, you can take the girl out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the girl.
Jane Vexo on the Larry King Now blog. Do you think that Wheel of Fortune could go on forever?
Yes. I wish it could. I wish it could. You never know.
Oh. Jane, again, Wheel of Fortune is my favorite show. I watch it every day. Is there a saying or phrase that's never been used that you'd like to see?
Ooh, that's a good question. In 34 years, I cannot imagine the thousands and thousands of phrases we've had, so I don't know what that phrase would be.
Let me think of one. Oh, woe is me.
Has it been?
I
don't even remember what color my dress was last night.
Corey Anderson on the Larry Now blog. If you had to pick a vowel, what would it be?
Ooh. Let's say an A.
When Merv explained that show, how did he know it would work?
You know,
of course, there are a lot of, Pat told me, there are a lot of hitches to the show. That is, the wheel spins, take another spin.
Yes.
The wheel spins, miss a turn. The wheel spins, bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
The wheel, nothing's happening but a wheel spinning.
That's right, and you never know. You never know. You know, this game started by the old version of Hangman. Yes, Merv, I think it was his sister that was in the hospital, and he went to visit her, and they just played the game while she was in the hospital, and he goes, oh, this will make a good game show.
Vanna, so great seeing you.
Good seeing you. Thank you.
Another 34. A big thanks to my guest, Vanna White. Be sure to tune in to the 34th season of Wheel of Fortune starting September 12th. You can always find me on Twitter at King's Things, and I'll see you next time. On Larry King Now, legendary Wheel of Fortune host Vanna White. When you audition, what was the audition like? Did you turn letters?
That's what I did. And when I got the job, I asked Merv, why did you choose me? He said, because you turn the letters better than anyone else.
The relationship between you and Pat.
We are great friends. We've never had one argument, and we adore each other.
How does it feel to be part of American culture? You don't need to have to use your second name.
My mother said to me, one day you're going to be known just by your first name.
Plus, have you goofed? Have you turned the wrong turn?
One time. It was devastating.
All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. She brightens up every room she enters. Vanna White, the legendary long-standing co-host of Wheel of Fortune, alongside Pat Sajak, Vanna will usher in the 34th season of the show starting September 12th. When you started, you said, I know you said this is going to 30, 40 years.
Never.
How did that start?
Well, I auditioned for the show along with 200 other girls, and Merv Griffin made the final decision. God bless you, Merv.
That was his show, right?
Yes, it was.
And they told you what it would entail?
It entailed, basically, I just had to turn letters.
All right, so when you auditioned, what was the audition like? Did you turn letters?
That's what I did. And when I got the job, I asked Merv, why did you choose me? He said, because you turn the letters better than anyone else.
Now, you do have a flair.
Well, thank you.
That was a daytime show.
It was. The nighttime version had not started yet. That was in 1982, and the syndicated version started in September of '83.
I'll have a story. I've never told this story before. In September of 1983, I was doing my national radio show and local television. Channel 9 came to me and said, we want to do a strip show with you every night, Larry, at 7:30. And you'll be the host and interview people every night, because I'd gotten well known as an interviewer in Miami. The only thing we have is we have to run this daytime quiz show, Wheel of Fortune, because we have a deal with King World. We got to run them for 6 weeks. It ain't going to work at night. It ain't going to work. So in 6 weeks, we'll come back to you and give you a contract. It ain't going to work. That's my Wheel of Fortune story.
My gosh.
Why did it work at night?
Who knows? People ask me
think?
that. I have no idea. The timing, I guess, it's a half hour of family fun. People are either eating dinner, have just finished dinner. It's time to be together and solve puzzles, and it just worked.
Good prizes, too.
Well, now we have $1 million wedge on that wheel, and we've given it away a few times, too.
Another thing that you do better than Jeopardy, even though both were Merv Griffin shows. At Jeopardy, the two losers get $2,000 or $1,000. On your show, you get what you